So let me welcome you all to the Maharashtra Hub meeting of Placemaking India, and it's a pleasure to have this team, Arpita and Sneha, and there are two Snehas, right? There's two Snehas, and today we're going to focus on Aurangabad, and it's a real pleasure to see that the city itself, the city administration itself, has sort of taken on the placemaking challenge. It's normally kind of a entrepreneurial venture. A lot of it is a lot of the times it's passion projects. So it's good to see that the city sponsored the activity, and I look forward to hearing the details. So over to you, Sneha.
Hello, everyone. So in Aurangabad city, we have initiated this program called Street Transformation, wherein we have selected few streets and trying to, transform it and giving the citizens good infrastructure in order to, make the walking and cycling friendly. So NMT friendly roads. So I'll just share the presentation. I hope it is visible to all.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. So I'll start with the presentation.
Yes, please go ahead. Yeah. She's going to try to join back, but yes, go ahead. Yeah.
This project was there are a few projects which are the dream projects of our Honorable Municipal Commissioner. So this is one of the projects which he's looking forward to. So initially for Streets for People, we constituted a task force team who will be looking after an internal team who will be taking decisions and a plan for this project to get implemented. So this was a task force team that we had formed, wherein there are many stakeholders which can the decision makers of the city. So one is the officials from municipal corporation. Then we had the team members from our team, smart city officials. Then we also had traffic police officials. Then there's an NGO which got connected with us for this particular project, that is Urban Research Foundation. And then it was Sir's idea, Municipal Commissioner Sir's idea, to connect media partner and FM partners, so that these kind of projects need a lot of buzz to be created in the city to make people aware what is going on in the city. And these are the projects which need a lot of inputs from the citizens. So it was his idea to get partnered with media partners to make a buzz and to make a lot of social media, to make awareness through social media. So initially this team, the task force team, went on for a study on this. So we the main vision of the Streets for People was to create a infrastructure which will motivate people to walk to school, walk to college, and walk to work. So like you would be knowing, Aurangabad city is a very small city. It's a 170 square kilometer city, and though there are so many places which can be very easily walkable, but though there's no such kind of infrastructure ready in the city, so people are not using this opportunity to walk. They're just more on the private vehicles. So there is a lot of use of private vehicles. So before starting with this project, we did a small perception study. So we got to know that many of the citizens also face this issue, and they come up the response of the survey also showed us that people are in need of such kind of infrastructure. So we started with such streets which will show a lot of outcome. So we started with Kranti Chowk Street as a flagship project, which is a very commercial area, and it connects to the main, it connects to the railway station, this street, and it is an arterial road and completely commercial. So we selected such kind of street which will have, which people can see how it transforms, and we'll get more, inputs from citizens. So we selected that. And the neighborhood project that we selected was Connaught Street. Again, this is a very famous street. The infrastructure and all is quite good there, but then again, there is no infrastructure, particularly for NMT. So with few modification, with few transformation, and through few awareness, it could be converted into a good NMT road. So we selected these two streets. So like I said, Kranti Chowk Street, we saw a lot of opportunity there. And once we could change this, it was easy for us to scale up in the entire city. So there was a lot of unorganized street vending happening. There was overspilling of parking activities on the carriageway itself. There was no, safe space for the pedestrians. It was all, it was not at all segregated. So people used to walk on the carriageway. Hence, it was not safe for them, for the pedestrians. And there is the street is very wide. The ROW is very wide, and as I said, it was not at all segregated. So there are few points which we saw opportunities to come up with some recreational pop-ups, public spaces. So this was a very good street that we could transform it. So, and this is the next is the Connaught Street. Again, as I said, it is a very good street, and the infrastructure is also there. But there are few points, wherein there are a few dark spots. There are good roads, but still people are not using it, as those are little shady places. So people don't find it safe to walk there. So people usually use their vehicles to move around that street. And it's again a residential plus commercial area. So it's a mixed use. The land use is mixed use. So there also we saw a lot of opportunity to convert, to transform it. So to make a little more buzz for this project, we rolled out a competition for this, wherein the participants like architects, we contacted many of the architectural colleges to participate in this project, so that we have their engagement too. We contacted many of the urban planners in the city who are working. So we got a nice response for this competition. There were around 107 participants for this, streets for this competition. And finally, we got 27 designs. Then we conducted a walking audit with the participants, wherein we took them around these selected streets, gave them the inputs. We had few, stakeholder meeting and all. And then when we announced the results, the team of the jurors were members of task force team. Also, few members were from known institutes. And then we announced the results. So after announcing the results, we again came back to the stakeholders. We discussed the designs with the stakeholders, and then we started to implement few pilot interventions on these streets. So first, talking about the Connaught Street, like this was a design given by the design team, the winning team. So we started converting it into a with a stakeholder first. Initially, there's a lot of parking problem there in this street. So there's a lot of unorganized parking happening in that space. I'll just show. Yeah, so this was the street. Now you can see the street. This is one of the CCTV footage that we got. This is a street, so you can see a very wide, and at the end of the day, it becomes like this. So we are very, hardly left with very less carriageway through which people walk, people, and it is a residential plus commercial building, but when we, had a stakeholder meeting, so the residents were so much irritated. It was not a very peaceful, site to live in. So even there was a lot of issues coming from residents also. So they wanted some transformation, and then we, with a lot of iterations, design iterations, with the traffic police and the stakeholders, we came up with this design wherein, as you can see, there is a lot of space here. There is triple parking happening. So what we thought is, we converted that into footpath and gave a MUZ where here you could see people sitting on their vehicles and in their cars having their food and all. So Connaught Street is is a place where a lot of youth come in, and we have a street food kind of site there. So there's no such facility where people could sit on the street and have their food and all. So we had this footpath, then the MUZ where we have the furnitures and all, and then the two-wheeler parking and the four-wheeler parking. So we tried to, organize the parking and made some recreational places, and we made it segregated. So this is in process. This is a design that we came up with, and there are a few nodes also, like these are the nodes where, we are trying to make it recreational, where people can come, and there's also if you can see, this is the top view of the site. There's a garden in between, and which is not that accessible. People, don't visit this much, and people don't know about this garden, as it is normally closed, and because like I earlier said, it is a very shady place, so people don't like to visit this place. So in the winning design, they had proposed that, we can open these gardens, and we can have a thorough gates through which, it doesn't seem to be closed ended. So we can open up the gates, and we can have some, Cannot Food Festival or these kind of things there, to make it more public friendly. And we also, discussed it with the traffic police, as earlier they had come up with P1 and P2 parking. But when we saw this was not working that well, because though there was this P1, P2 happening, but there's no much, we need a lot of enforcement to, to this plan to happen. So we decided that we'll go with this four-wheeler and two-wheeler on one side, so that there's no confusion in people where to park. They can peacefully come, park, and then, enjoy the street. So this plan was again discussed with the traffic police and finalized. So we are in talks with the stakeholders, the citizens, residents, staying there, and we're going to implement this soon. So just to initiate this, we had, a pop-up painting, a pop-up street painting we had planned. So this was last week, to make it visible to people, how it looks, how, so we had just painted this part, which we are going to make it completely for walking. And there are few spots in the areas which we can, make it accessible to small children, and make it more a recreational space where people can come and have good time with their families. So yeah, this is how the street looks right now. But this was when the parking policy parking was not initiated, was not enforced. So you can still see some unorganized parking happening. But we once we apply this four-wheeler parking and two-wheeler parking properly, so it will be seen organized one. And to build the momentum, we did a lot of social media. I think Arpita, you can just uh, start with the social media, how we created this buzz in the within the citizens, so that you can start.
Hi. Yes. So, in order to develop the concept, because this entire concept of making your streets livable or street transformation is still new to at least for a city like Aurangabad. So, what our efforts are aimed at is we want to educate and we want to introduce. We are still in the introduction phase, wherein we are uh, time in and time again we are trying to you know uh, build that concept in the minds of the citizens. What is street transformation? Because right now they don't know what it is, so they wouldn't know if they want it or not. So our first phase is to be able to make them understand what is street transformation, and then in the next phase it would be like, yes, I want this, and I want it like this. So not all citizens have the privilege of visiting other cities where, or the cities where they have a very decent walkable infrastructure. So at this point, the social media plays a very important role. So we try to connect to youth, because what we want is the entire idea of our streets for people challenge, as well as the cycles for change challenge, is engaging the people and implementing the projects through them. And otherwise, it's and that's the idea of our commissioner also, and who is also the smart city CEO, Mr. Astik Kumar Pandey, that all stakeholders, including the citizens, the social activists, the civic activists, as well as the politicians, should be always in loop of what we are doing. That way, whatever interventions we do are sustainable. So we try to do that by using Instagram, Twitter, um, and Facebook, and also some peppy videos. We also use our digital outdoor displays. So under Smart City project, we have installed 50 digital outdoor displays. So through those displays, we try to connect to the people. We also have a very robust media, print media, as well as the electronic and the digital media active in Aurangabad. So, and the media is very cooperative in helping the administration to uh, voice understand the concerns of the people, as well as to propagate uh, the idea of street transformation and the entire concept of placemaking. So we also organized some very successful events in open streets. So the first of our open street event was at the Heritage Gate. So Aurangabad, as you know, is rich with heritage. So our first open streets was organized at Python Gate, where we took the opportunity of the upcoming Diwali festival last year, and we organized Diwali Pahad. Though due to COVID norms, we could not invite a lot of people, but through the virtual means, we could connect to 10,000 odd people. And then the next open streets was held at Kranti Chowk, which is a very, peppy place. So we got a very good response, and the children, this was in last December. And so that really helped. helped us build the momentum.
Right.
Yes, Neha.
Yeah. So now talking about this open street, so this event had really helped us, to get the momentum to this project. So we started with just a street paint. As you can see in this slide, there was just this in this during this event we had just painted a small patch. It was just 1200 meters length street which we painted. And earlier this used to be a parking place, so we constructed a vehicle barrier where people understood that this is a place where we cannot park. So with just that initiative, it became a place where now people come, in the evening when you come here, people come sit. uh, there's a lot of students, youths, and also families coming to this place, uh, where it was merely a parking place. So with these kind of transformations, this was a learning for us too as a team. Also it was a learning to us how now when we see the street, uh, we often pass through this street and we can see that now what is the need. Now people have started coming to this place, and now there is lack of sitting furnitures. People are coming, they like to come here and sit there. So now we have planned to make up some pop-up street furnitures, and this is how we are as a team also we are learning and looking at the response from the citizens. You know there are improvements that we are making. So now in this place we did not for this particular street, Kranti Chowk street, we haven't, the project is not yet complete. We just painted the park, the street, and we have transformed, I guess if I could, there's just a patch where we transform the street into a public space. So we made some sitting arrangement, people come and sit there. But now we did not mark the parking space there, and now we have now we got the pattern how people are parking, looking at the land, looking at the use of the building. So where commercial buildings are there, there are more of car parking happening. Where there are vendors, there are vending spaces, there two-wheelers are parked. So now through this also we know how to have the parking space. So now in the next phase we are going to upgrade this complete street from Kranti Chowk till the next we are taking a 300 meters length road, and we are going to completely transform it. So with proper signages, with parking spaces where people can park. And now as we have got the pattern also, so now we know where to give four-wheeler parking, where to give two-wheeler parking as well. So we are using this mantra, test, test, learn, and then scale. So through two of these sites, we have learned a lot, and we are going to scale up on this basis. So this whole journey of street transformation has been very insightful to us also, and it was a learning journey for us as a team also. So yeah. And still it is, we're going to work on this. We are still working on this. The Cannot transformation is still going on. We'll be starting next week. The stakeholders meeting has been completed, and now with few tactical urbanism, we are going to start the transformation of this street.
Thank you so much, Arpita and Sneha. We'll just quickly take a few questions if anyone has anything to ask. I think there are a couple of people from Aurangabad, so it would be good to know their your reaction, or if if what do you feel of the proposals. Anyone has anything to ask or say?
So Vipra, we also have Kiran from, she is from the Smart City team, and she's a very she's been very active with us in, entire process of stakeholder engagement to conflict management to actually implementing. She's a civil engineer herself. So if Kiran could share, and also anybody of the other citizens from Aurangabad,
Sure,
we
yes.
would love to hear from you.
Thank you, Kiran, for joining us. It would be good if you could share something of your experience or what you would like to share with us.
Hi, good evening, everyone. I'm Kiran from Smart City. Am I audible?
Yeah.
Yes, yes, sure.
We are running some pilot projects here, but still we have a huge response from citizens, and people are very excited to know more about how we would transfer the streets and make them more space available where they can use. So this initiative is really very good, and as a team with Sneha, Arpita, and Sneha, it's really very good initiative to act for the city, and it's a very good learning also, how people's reaction, and then some joyful and happiness movements are there. So overall it's very nice for Aurangabad to change a lot from this. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Kiran. Can I just quickly ask a couple of questions? Yeah. So one is that just if you could quickly tell us what other future plans you have in terms of placemaking for Aurangabad, since obviously this is something which will be in continuation, these two streets. But is there anything else as such which you have in the pipeline which it would be good to know about?
Yeah. So as we have just did this pilot transformation in just 2 streets. There are many places which are in dire need of transformation, like the main core of the city, that is Gulmandi, where and it's a little tough to transform because there are a lot of stakeholders involved. There are many requirements from different stakeholders. So we are looking, and obviously
Right.
we need inputs from the citizens. So after the complete transformation of these 2 streets, we are planning to have a consultation with the citizens. We are again going to run a survey where we get to know which streets citizens have to transform or need this kind of beautification and transformation. So we are completely going to take help from the citizens, and then but we are planning to scale this project up because we are getting a lot of good response from public, and now people are understanding the earlier there was a lot of resistance coming when we started this project through Kranti Chowk. As I said, that the road was very wide, and we just segregated it. And when we segregated it, there's the main road, the carriageway became little narrower than earlier. So there was a lot of resistance coming from even from the traffic police, from citizens, from the shopkeepers as well, that road chota ho gaya hai, uske wajah se traffic बढ़ रही है. But they did not understand that the people, those who were walking on that carriageway, are now safely and without any tension, without any tension of getting hit by any vehicle, are safely walking through the segregated walkway that we have created. Now they're understanding why there is a need of, and not giving wide roads is the solution to have a smooth traffic movement. So giving importance to NMT, giving importance to such kind of infrastructure is also necessary. That awareness has started coming, and this knowledge people are getting through these projects. So we'll obviously scale up this project.
Sure.
I have a question. It was really refreshing to see that you were observing the user behavior and parking behavior. Like how two-wheelers and four-wheelers, vis-a-vis commercial spaces and vendors, the hawking zones, and adapting that. So that's a very interesting lesson. And another thing I found very interesting was your news clipping that traders had agreed to pedestrianization. And so I want to know how you managed to do that, because that's an issue that bothers a lot of cities. And so if you can give us some insight into how you managed to do that.
Yeah, I think Arpita would be,
So,
the right person.
so this was the news of from this area, which is the Gulmandi area of the city, which is like similar to Chandni Chowk market. Okay, it's a very busy market, an old market, and a market that everybody, like if there is a wedding in a family, one would go to that market. That kind of market it is. And so, but then over the years, it has been observed that the market, due to the parking and hawking issues and due to the traffic management, people have stopped going there, because if somebody elderly would want to go there, it is not a very convenient place to shop anymore. So we at the stakeholder meeting, we try to make them understand that it is for your business over 5 years, 10 years down the line. How do you want your business to be? Do you want it to sustain or grow, or to just be ignored, or preferred over some other mall or some convenient space? So at that time, we got the support of the Vyapari Association, who made our point clarified to them that this is what they are trying to make you understand. And that is when they agreed to yes, we are okay with pedestrianization of the street. So these are the moments, during our struggle, during the few resistance that we face during our entire designing process or planning process. These are the few aha moments that we face when we get support from the very stakeholders who are at the point of change. So that's
Yeah,
that's
initially
how
the
that headline came into picture.
So initially the stakeholders were like, no, I want my customer to bring his vehicle till my doorstep, only then my business will run. So trying to explain them how this transformation will help their business grow was very interesting. And we obviously gave them the example of, we in Aurangabad city we have just one big mall, and now youngsters are all moving to that, because the parking there, they can peacefully park and enjoy their shopping experience. So here they are not getting that. When they come to this city, to this site, so they are like, they have to think where I have to first park, where will I get the space for parking. So that and all that, with that tension, people come to shopping. So it's not a very pleasant experience of shopping. So making them understand this was really, and they actually agreed to the concept.
Yes.
Very
I think
interesting.
that's and very encouraging, because I think most cities have that kind of a core area which refuses to change. There is a set way by which things are done. Like in Pune, if you go to the old city area or Lakshmi Road, there are 2 or 3 multi-storied parking spaces, which is where someone would go and park their car and then just walk around. But even that has become almost impossible to do because it's always full. So there has to be some kind of a change which can accommodate everyone. I think this is a really good example for that. Yeah.
Yes, I
And
mean,
also,
I think that,
if we would like to add one more very important thing, a development that is happening right now in the city, that Aurangabad city, with the cooperation of the municipal corporation as well as the smart city, is now working aggressively on a parking policy as well as a hawker zone policy. So if these two areas are addressed, a lot of work will, or like half work would already be done. So we are counting on it, and we are very hopeful for its implementation.
did you say the smart city is working on that? Smart city is working on
Yes,
these.
the smart city as well as the Aurangabad Municipal Corporation.
Municipal corporation.
Yeah. I just wondered if, because one of the things that, has been often brought up is whether this has improved the, whether these initiatives like Smart City, SPV, build capacity on the commission, the municipal commission, because, it's, seems to have, the Smart City SPV seems to have some of the, the more sort of the better qualified people. And I just wondered whether these things sort of filter down, and what kind of capacity building actually results from these learnings, from these urban, interventions at the commissions end, municipal commissioner, the staff or the
So
municipal
in
commissioner.
our case, yes. So in the case of Aurangabad city, fortunately we have the same person heading both the bodies, the municipal body as well as the SPV, and he's a person who is very interested in placemaking, in the concept of placemaking, the concept of futuristic infrastructure or sustainable and environmentally sustainable infrastructure. So he is himself. So in many of the cities we see, like in during our streets for people or cycles for change challenges, we observe that the city officers have to push the city administrator or the municipal commissioner to bring this changes or the interventions. But in our case it is coming from the top. So he's the driving force, and he's behind us. So sometimes we do get a lot of scolding also, that we are not running on time, and we should be active, more active, and we should think more, and we should be more innovative. And he's like, you go visit cities who have successfully implemented certain projects, and learn from them, and talk to people. You have all my support. So that is the kind of system that we
Push that.
have, fortunately, for the city in Aurangabad. And as far as the capacity building in the SPP is concerned, so as you said, we got a very qualified and very, not just qualified but very passionate staff working at the SPV. And so this staff works in close association with the municipal authorities, municipal officers who are rich in experience, and they know the city. So we are a young set of people. We don't know the city as much as they know. So when both of us come together, it works really well.
That's excellent. Thank you so much for that. Yeah. So there's a close sort of symbiotic relationship between the SPV, the news, the sort of the staff who are well educated but may not have the ground realities, and the commission staff. That's very
Right.
interesting.
Also, I guess leadership plays a very important role in terms of to drive the entire process. Again, the priority of the commissioners needs to be set as to what it has to be, or how do they envision the future of that city. So I guess that plays a very important role, especially now that we're seeing in the case of Aurangabad.
Right. Yes.
Of the
Sorry,
27,
yeah.
yes.
No, sorry, I'm
So-
just saying my camera is, I'm not turning it on because I keep
Yes.
getting disconnected.
Yes, sure. I mean, yeah, it freezes sometimes because the.
Yes. So, yeah.
I just had a question about the 27 final designs. I mean, how did you what happened after that? Because I may have missed a step, but in the final sort of selection for Kranti Chowk and that stretch of road between Python Gate and is it Gulmandi? Yeah.
Gulmandi, yeah.
How did you go about selecting it? Did you sort of mix and match some of the designs? And
Yes.
was there like a lot of local participation? Are there local urban designers who were involved? How did you go about that?
So this was one of our criteria that we need to have if ever the participants are from other cities, and we did have participants from other cities too. But there was a criteria that one person from that team should be a localite, so that he knows the site well and he's aware of that street. So that was a criteria. So there was at least one person from that team who was localite and who knows about the city. So like for the Kranti Chowk, we selected 3 winners, and which were realistic, like which could be easily implemented. That was like more weightage was given to that project, which had a lot of which could be transformed just through tactical urbanism. And we did revise it with there was few good things that we took from the second runner up, which we took from the third runner up and from the winners. So we had a discussion with all the winners at the end, and then we revised it with our team. So now we have a plan which has a mix and match from all the winning teams, and that way we had and then again discussing it with the stakeholders, there's again some change coming. So finally we decided after the stakeholders consultation.
And one final question I was, regarding, I mean, it's Aurangabad has such rich culture and, such strong associations with, this kind of whole history and also the proximity to Ajanta, Ellora. And I just wondered if any of that played into, because culture is a huge, sort of soft sell, which, especially for tourists, wondered if that was how that was manifested. And yeah, I think that Om Agarwal wants to raise a question. So please, as soon as you finish the answer, please go ahead, Om, after she's answered the question.
So we had selected the streets which are very different from each other in their concept, or so one, the Kranti Chowk street is completely commercial. It's an arterial road running. So we could not make it completely NMT. There's no chance of making it completely NMT. So we just had to use the space which was not being utilized for the footpaths. We could just convert that. And coming to the Python Gate street, it has a very different character. So that Gulmandi street is a very rich in its culture. There are many present which are still has the heritage touch to it. So the designs that came up, we saw that it doesn't change the character of that place. So we selected those designs which kept the character of that place as it is, and then we selected. So there were things that we again discussed with the winning team, that we need to keep this as it is. we don't have to touch this and all. And coming to the Connaught side, it is again a very, Connaught Street of Delhi. So it is very, youths come there. So the characters are very different from each other. So with the Gulmandi street, we kept its heritage intact. So we did not transform it into very, which would change its character. So we kept that in mind.
Arpita, did you
Also,
have?
yes, so I was going to say that also, since we are banking on our tourism potential, so whenever we try to put across our point of to making someone understand, the politician or the police, traffic police, or the citizen, or any officer or bureaucrat or activist, so we try to put this across that this is our city which is rich in tourism potential. So any initiative that we do towards placemaking, towards street transformation, so it would be, it would add value to our tourism potential. So if I think that is what you had asked. So it's yes. So all our initiatives are very much in line with our being a heritage city.
Om, you can go ahead and ask or say what you.
Hello. Hello. Good evening. It's really appreciable the work you are doing, your plans and the work you did. It's really appreciable as it's not easy to manage and make city attractive. First of all, I would like to give my info. I am Om Agarwal. We have started youth organization named Teenagers Initiative. Our founder Prithviraj Singh Rajput is also in the meeting. So just I want to say the thing is we are always ready to help you. Aurangabad Smart City, but whatever you need help, our help, just say us. And the second thing is that we all know that tree plantation, about tree plantation. Many people do tree plantation, but out of the city. There are only few people who do plantation in the city, inside the city. Like plantation in the sense oxygen-rich trees. Example, neem, people. So what we were thinking to plant trees in each society and colonies. At least 2 to 3 oxygen-rich trees. As it's a part of development and it's really needed. So just I want your opinion on this.
Of course, we had like the the designs that we selected also had because the streets which we had selected are barely has trees on it. There is no shade, but because when we are talking about giving a foot like the infrastructure where people can walk, so of course we wanted to give them a pleasant experience of walking, not just a footpath. So we did think of having a shaded footpath, a green corridor. So we did look into this the plantation by looking at the local species, of course, which will sustain. Yeah.
So yes, I mean, you have a very good idea, and we are very glad as Aurangabad Smart City, and I'm sure the Placemaking India team is also very happy that you joined in and you shared your opinion, and we are very glad that you are liking our efforts, and we would definitely be open to working with you in this area or any other initiative, citizen led initiative.
Thanks. Thank you so much, Om, because I hope that that you can network with other teenage initiatives in other cities, and spread the sentiment. It's so wonderful that you're thinking about your future, and the this future of the ecosystem, because trees is nothing better than for carbon storage and for oxygen production and then a tree. And this is something, but provided it's done with the biodiversity in mind, and there is a plan to look after the trees and manage the trees, because this is there can't be anything more music to our ears as Placemaking India, to see the green recovery being addressed, recovery cities from a sort of a ecological perspective, and especially after COVID.
Yeah, I guess it was a really good discussion we had, and thank you so much, Sneha and Arpita, for being with us today and sharing your work that is going on. I think
we're also happy to actually get this platform to discuss what we are doing in the city. And of course, I think through this platform we could connect with some of the citizens. When we go back to office, we could connect to more citizens, and those who can help us in this project. And it was really nice discussing this with you, your team.
Thank you so much. So the next hub meeting is on 19th September, and that we want that to be like a culmination of the Streets for People challenge series that we've been doing for the Maharashtra hub. So we will be having a kind of a panel discussion. So please do join in. It would be a really good opportunity to again to just discuss and see what's going on and get a different perspective for the various projects in Maharashtra. I will keep you posted. I'll be sending you the emails, so do look out for that. And again, thank you so much for being with us today, being here with us today. Vinita, would you like to say anything else?
No, I just want to join in appreciating Sneha and Arpita for being here and for sharing their experience. And I think there are many instructive things here. And as Vipra said, we invite you both to join exactly a month from now, the third Sunday of September, where we'll be doing a reality check of some of the projects. And it's more of the nature of a discussion and debate. So please do join us. There'll be people from other cities also, like Nashik and Pimpri Chinchwad and Nagpur. So, and we hope to have an expert, one of our mentors, sort of the anchor for that discussion. So share his own experience. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye bye. Thank you.
Bye. Bye, everyone.
Bye.